Happy Thursday. Gosh, it feels good to be here in real life with my friend Lucas. What a day we've had. Social media makeover. This is our normal Thursday show, but it's the first time that we've actually done it together in real life. And God, it feels good. It feels good.
This is wild to actually go from, knowing each other for 5 years.
Yes.
It's actually probably 5 years to the date almost around there. Having our awesome show where we're in our own settings every 2 Thursdays, but it's awesome to be here and to really be talking about showing up on as many platforms and as many feeds and as many channels as possible, which is what we're doing today. I like how it's named. Endless content ideas. And what we have, because we love here on Social Media Makeover, is to share a remixable template that you can use in Adobe Express to help you with the processes that we're going through. Today, I love this. And
we love a remixable template around here, don't we? We've also said before, think of this show as a course. I know we keep saying that, but we're going to say it again because this is now our 8th episode and it builds on itself. So we talk a lot about Instagram. We always talk about social media, but I think even when we're talking about social media, if it's specific to Instagram, this is something you can adapt for the other platforms you're on. But I think the theme in our studio day, our work with my client, Alan, and your work with my client, Alan, has been so great. Like, the whole point here is to not overthink content creation, right? Repurpose what you already have. Yes. And today with this remixable template, we are giving you a solid starting point.
Yeah, you're gonna have the resources to really make a comprehensive content strategy. What we're sharing with you is enough posts. I'm calling them emergency content ideas, which
I love that.
Are not coincidentally 30 days of ideas, a month of content there. But these are ways you can show up with the ideas you need. And we always like to share, you can see in the chat, we have our remixable template link. Go ahead and click on that. Open up, well, I guess after you're done watching us, but later on, go check that out and use this. And I actually encourage you to work within this document to create the content to really add to that speed. So what we're doing, Phil, is I wanna see how many posts we can make in this hour we have.
Great.
Not just posts across the same format, because social media is not about that these days. We're gonna see how many posts we can make, and the challenge I'm setting for myself is we need at least one reel. Okay, we're gonna need at least
Honey, that's your department. You're the real guy.
One reel.
Okay?
I'm getting a little ambitious here, but I think I could do it. One reel, one story, a single graphic, a carousel, and then obviously with Resize being so amazing here, once we make those 4, we can actually probably recreate many of those formats. So it's 3 carousels, 3 single image graphics. So we're gonna see what we can do. How's that sound?
It sounds great, but you've spent the day with me and you're now become a hand talker, I just noticed. You never talk like this, but I think my hand talking is rubbing off on you.
When I'm in a classroom, I think I do it. When I'm a teacher, I think I'm a hand talker.
So is it for our personal brands that we're creating this content?
Yeah, so I love how, again, we've worked with your client, Alan, and we've worked with a mixture of his professional business content and his professional personal brand. And we've seen so many different formats that can be used on LinkedIn, can be used on YouTube Shorts, can be used on Instagram, other channels. I might add it for my own self for TikTok, right? There's so many different platforms you can use this content on.
Yep.
So yeah, the idea is, we just had an awesome stream, multiple sessions where we're showing how to really dive into tons of content for him. I'm going to apply those tips that we just did for ourselves. As Robert's saying, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're going to keep that wheel turning and spewing out content ideas. So everything I'm teaching today in the longer stream we just finished, you'll be able to get the real breakdown of everything. But I want to show, here's someone applying it now in hopefully 45 minutes. We'll see how we can do.
I'm in. Let's do it. So, Lucas in teacher mode. I'm here for it.
So what we're sharing today is this is the emergency content calendar. And 2 things I want to break down, which I'll zoom in a little bit, is I've sorted the content into content ideas, but also content pillars. So we got some things like connection. Connection is starting conversations. Might not be your most viral post because going viral isn't the only goal on social media. Instead, this is making you stand out. This is creating a reason why your audience wants content from you and not the millions of other creators out there as well. Education, this is where we can maybe lean into potentially viral. But again, as I said, that's not your only goal. Education content gives free value to people. It makes them save your content, it makes them share your content, and often makes people hit that follow button, which is largely what we want to build an audience. Promotion's huge because you want to promote your business. You want to promote your products, your services, whatever that looks like. So make sure that's there. And then I also have conversation, which is just getting people to comment, making your account that hub of community and where people are showing up to talk. And you know what? I've even thrown in some inspiration here and there.
Love it.
So this could be, if someone really wanted to, this could be their month. This could be your 30 days of content. It lines up pretty well. And you can really just cycle through it if you are posting that much. But you can also, do 3 posts a week, right? 4 posts a week, and really find a schedule there. But I'm gonna do a quick skim, and I'm gonna find a content idea to go with, because I wanna show that you don't have to go in order, okay? And we're creating conversation. We got our awesome chat who's tuning in and has been joining us. So I'm gonna do a conversation post, and I'm gonna do this one, which is create an Ask Me Anything post where your followers can tell you their current problems and questions.
Okay.
And surprise, surprise, I already made that post. So very quickly, I made a quick video of me proposing a Q&A. We have that wonderful Adobe San Francisco office lighting. Look at that right in front of that window. But I'll quickly play this. It's got some captions. We can listen. And this is, like Phil said, just creating content is the biggest obstacle to try to overcome. If you try to make the perfect content, you're gonna hold yourself back and you're gonna lessen your productivity. So look at how quick and scrappy this post is. This is at home on social media. This would do well on social media. Let's listen. Hey, we're live from the Adobe San Francisco office, getting ready to join these guys on this screen to talk all things content creation. But let's host a Q&A. Ask me your questions now, drop them in the comments, and I'll answer them. What's on your mind? Social media, content creation. There we go. So one thing, keep those headphones on, because before I actually get into the video, and then I won't repetitively play this for our audience again and again, but a feature I love, because I don't know about you, but for years now, I've been loving Adobe Podcast. Adobe Podcast for enhancing voice. Also, you can upload a video in there. Well, now I don't have to have that tab open because I can enhance my video speech right here in Adobe Express. So I'll play a little snippet, but again, I just filmed this outside. You can hear a little bit of like wind in the background, right? From the windows or cars, whatever that is. So I'll just play that so you can hear it. Hey, we're live from the Adobe San Francisco office, getting ready to join. So a little bit of echoes, you hear a little bit of cars. I'm gonna hit enhance speech, and it works quite quickly. What that's doing, and it will give me some options to add some variety to it, but this is going to crispen up my sound. It's gonna clear it up, there we go. And it's gonna make sure that it's not like, if I'm filming anywhere, it's not gonna have those backgrounds in there. So I'll play what it did just by default. Hey, we're live from the Adobe San Francisco office, getting ready to join these guys on this screen to talk all things content creation. But let's host a Q&A. Ask me your questions now, drop them in the comments, and I'll answer them. What's on your mind? Way better, right?
It is so much better. It just occurred to me that actually it's probably leveraging the technology behind Adobe Podcast, which I also love. I'm so happy to see this pop up in Express.
Very nice. So you can take those off. What I'll do is I'll mute the video just so we don't play it for our audience for the rest of today. But you can also change the intensity. So again, if you've used Adobe Podcast, that's something you'll see on there. You can do the intensity, and if you find like the voice is coming out a little bit too AI heavy, you can drop that. I find based on various settings where I'm recording, it might sound like if I have max intensity, it might come out a little robotic, but I think that was a pretty great example. I see other people are adding too. Val saying that was crispy, right? So I think we can hear the difference. It's much more clear, which is nice. And I got that applied. There we go. So that's the video. But again, I have the captions, which are a must. Something we spoke about with Alan today is I find the 3-part hook that is really going to make your content stand out on the feed. We already have 2 of them here. So we have my captions, my text.
Wait, why am I still wearing headphones?
I said you could take them off, but I think your headphones blocked out my sound.
Yeah, it was like really focused. I don't know why. Okay.
I thought you were just enjoying it by that point. My 3-part hook, we have one here. I use the add captions quick action right here in Adobe Express, and that gave me some customizable captions that are right there on screen. I like how it picks things up. Like right where I said, let's host a Q&A. I won't replay it, but when I spoke it, I think I said like, let's host a Q&A or something. Like I misspoke. And for a moment I thought there and said, oh, now I have to redo it. I got to re-record that video. You don't have to re-record the video.
Just keep it and lean on these tools that will do that extra little fixing up.
Yeah, the captions are there. And if you're trying to get every word perfectly, you're going to be recording videos for hours and you still might not even be happy with it. So
also, people like mistakes.
yes, they do. They do.
In this kind of AI now world, I think any kind of reminder that you're a human being is well received by fellow humans.
Yes, exactly. And Robert's pointing out no extra echo thanks to that enhanced speech. That's awesome too.
It worked awesome.
Actually, speaking of that, about like the human quality of the video, I recently started recording many videos like this in my car and just kind of have been leaning the camera on, or my phone on my steering wheel while my car is parked, of course, not while driving, and recording. And it's great light because I'm in my car in an open parking lot, and good sound actually as well. And it's just human, right? Someone might be in their car while watching the video, and I'm getting good results with it. So, and people comment on things that they can see in my car. Like I had my dog in the back seat, or I had like an alien stuffed animal in the back seat, and that leads comments, that creates conversation. So you never know.
Genius.
So the second part of my 3-part hook is I have me. Okay, so we're not starting with like a YouTube intro. That's what YouTube's for, right? That longer form content. Social media, you just want to start with the content creator or the personal brand right away. I'm finding a lot of, brands are even doing this where they're getting like someone on their team to be the face of the brand. And they're the ones that are showing up on the social side of things rather than, putting in all these just brand animations and whatnot. Start with the person. So someone can recognize right away, oh, this is a Lucas post. I follow that guy. I like to learn from him. So that's part 2. Third part, we're going to add a text title just right here on screen, like we showed earlier with Alan, but I'm going to use that for my brand now.
Robert says the car is the best sounding, or the best sound studio. That's so true.
It really is, eh? That's your takeaway tip for everybody today. In addition to the wealth of Adobe Express knowledge that we're sharing.
This is great.
I like how it's telling me. We spoke about this earlier, but in terms of like hooks, I want this title definitely to appear right away. So it's going to pop up and we'll work with some animations in a moment. But I like to have it on screen for about 5 seconds. Gives people time to make sure that they've read it and they're able to see what's going on. So let's pop that up there.
I don't think people think or know about including this. So this is like a really good tip. And friends, I just might remind you, this tip is coming from someone who has literally hundreds of thousands of followers. So maybe take this and incorporate it, because this guy has the experience to know what works and what doesn't.
And I think I built out, I was inspired by you building out a brand with Alan, and I built out Lucas Personal Content 2025.
Love it.
That's my brand.
You've also like let your style evolve over the years. I also love that. Like, you've kind of you've experimented a bit, or you've leaned into certain styles, animations like little sketch.
Yeah, little doodles.
Doodles, that's the word I was looking for.
Which maybe, I love draw shape. Maybe we'll get into that.
You do love draw shape.
One thing I'm doing that I love to do for these titles is make it really stand out so someone can read it. A way you can do that very easily in Adobe Express. Just select that text, and then there is a spot to add an outline. So I like to add that outline, whatever color. I like black. And then you can change the thickness of it. Certain fonts, you'll want it to be quite thick. This is a pretty thin font, so I'm gonna go pretty intense actually here, just so it actually does stand out and someone can see it. If you have a blockier font, you probably won't need that as much, but I find that's another really important thing for readability. The whole point of this is to grab someone's attention. So let's see, this will be my 3-part hook. I'll just scroll to a part where you can see everything. I like how you were speaking about making sure there's not too much interruptions and too many collisions
Yes.
between your elements. You even showed the social, what's
social
the add-on?
previewer.
Social previewer.
Yeah.
That one's awesome. Maybe we'll get into that. But add-ons, I always say we could do a whole episode on add-ons at some point. I think we probably will.
We will.
So here we have social media Q&A, ask me anything. And the video all together, I'll play it one more time. We don't need headphones. Actually, I turned the volume off, didn't I?
Yeah.
We'll play it one more time so the audience can hear it. But that is, oh wait, sorry, let's add a quick animation. I'll show how easy it is to add animations.
Good call.
Let's add a quick incoming animation. I like
Wait, can I actually show you? Yes.
Yes.
So that's a good one to click. Go into the settings on that animation.
On Tumble, okay. And
then I want people to see there's a brand new feature. Look closely.
Oh, you told me
Start
about this.
outside page. If you blink, you'll miss it.
So I'm gonna click
But
on
with
that.
us around, you're not gonna miss it. Click it. And it seems so simple, but what that's gonna do for the first time in Express, without having to go to like After Effects and customize this, now your animation can start out of the frame and tumble in.
Let's take a look.
See it again.
Hey, we're live from the Adobe San
Boom.
Francisco.
So, I mean, it's so small, but it's actually really, really cool for the right application. Presentations, text animations like this, it works really great. And that's available on a lot of the animations built in.
I love that. And here, I like how it even, you can see it coming in from the side. And that's a nice hook, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't cluster the screen right away. It starts off blank, then everything comes on at once.
Yeah,
And
I think
that's
this
gonna
is
act as a good hook.
This is a good use of it.
Yeah, for social media content. And I can also probably have that, I'm guessing, for the outro animations where something's leaving, right?
Yes.
I might say as my call to action, comment your questions below. Make sure you have that. But we're making a bunch of content here today, so we're gonna move on to the next format.
Okay.
But that's a reel right there.
Love
I could
it.
go ahead and I could schedule that, have it good to go. You've shown some awesome things today. I can have it on all of these different formats,
Yeah.
which is great. I like how you've shown some really cool things like the caption writer, generate some captions. I like how it's different based on the platform you're using. So if I'm doing Instagram, it'll help me keep my caption clean by adding things in the first comment. If it's for TikTok, I can select options like disabling duet or disabling stitch. So it's nice when we're talking endless content today. Endless content really comes down to repurposing and using that content across various channels. So right here, I have 3 posts. I have a LinkedIn video, I have an Instagram reel, and I have a TikTok video. And it's gonna show up. That counts as, if we're keeping score, that is 3 right there.
Right there.
I see Jason asking if I can play the whole thing before moving on. So let's play that, and then we'll go to the next one.
Your wish is our command, Jason. Let's take a little look at this.
And I enhanced the speech. I don't know if you're here for that, but listen to how crisp the audio sounds.
Hey, we're live from the Adobe San Francisco office, getting ready to join these guys on this screen to talk all things content creation. But let's host a Q&A. Ask me your questions now. Drop them in the comments, and I'll answer them. What's on your mind? Social media, content creation.
There we go.
Genius.
So that is, if we're looking at our calendar, which is, again, if you're just joining us, we give out this template. You'll get this calendar. You can get it in the show description.
Yeah.
We just did right here, this content piece
Yeah.
right here. Conversation, create an Ask Me Anything post. If you want to get super interactive, this is why we're making it a remixable template. You can make your own copy and do fun things like, delete this or black it out or block it out with a square or a shape, or choose an icon that you like. You can tell I'm a teacher. I like the whole sticker book vibe, right? You can choose something fun. I don't know, coffee. Here, post. Let's say it's been posted, right? Here's a computer. I think that's a computer. And then I can cover it, right? So
Love
that's
it.
how I know that I've posted that. You're putting that sticker on the sticker book. Have fun with it.
I've chosen my prompt.
Oh, that we're gonna create?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got?
Yeah.
Should I zoom
It's
out?
only fair. You've created one. Now I'm going to create one. I might potentially create 2. I have a few ideas here. But friends, the whole theme today is endless content ideas. And as you know, with every social media makeover episode, we give you a remixable template as a thank you for hanging out with us, either live or watching the replay. And today you get 30 endless content ideas because you saw Lucas just take from one prompt and create 3 posts. What I'm thinking of doing next is starting from one of my templates that I've created in Express to quickly create a carousel. And then I'm going to, which I'm like creating less, but I'm going to challenge myself is I'm going to create a reel using the green screen effect.
Okay.
Since we have a green screen. So we're going to play. Let's play around for the next few minutes.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to, let's see.
What prompt are you thinking? You said you had one, or?
Yeah, the prompt that I'm thinking is 16. Education.
That's a favorite of mine.
Share your top secret hack that not many people know about in your industry.
Okay.
So, by the way, do you still have my ChatGPT account up in a tab?
No, I
By
do
chance
not.
You don't? Okay.
No.
I might have you like pull it open in a second.
Okay.
But we don't need it yet. But basically what I would do is I don't want to think too, like I'm a talker, as if you didn't notice. I like to just like talk out my ideas. So I try not to like put a ton of pressure on myself to have to write it out because I've got 3 businesses and I don't have time for that. But I do need to be present on social media. This is a huge part of my brand as a content creator, as an educator, as a brand strategist. So 2 things that I will typically do, I think because we're on your screen and not mine, we might have to like, well, here, let's try this. So 2 ways of doing this. There's an app that I use called Audio Pen. You probably can't see it from here. Another one that I can just use is ChatGPT. If you open a platform like this, you could be using Claude, you could be using Gemini. I'm not like partial to any one of them. By the way, all the AI features built into Express are amazing. So a lot of times I'm using them in tandem. I showcased earlier today from our studio stream using AI Assistant built into Acrobat as a way to like iterate and create. So here's what we're gonna do. You're just gonna be here with me while I talk this idea out. So can you read to me again the...
so the prompt is, share your top secret hack that not many people know about in your industry.
Okay, so I'm not gonna like pre-script this, I'm just gonna talk it out. Are you ready? So I'm in ChatGPT, I'll just tilt it on an angle. There's a little microphone icon, I'm gonna hit it. I am going to talk out my thoughts on a top secret hack that not many people know about in my industry. As the author of a book that I released in January called AI for Small Business, I want to answer this question as it relates to AI. A few prompts that I lean on that I think a lot of people might not know about. Probably my most used prompt is DTA, don't take action yet. So in order to get a good output from AI, you need to give a solid input. And sometimes that actually means taking the time to talk out an idea like this. Content, what you say, personality, the unique way that you deliver that information. So all the time, just like in a conversation with Lucas or with you, I'm not gonna like front load the information. I'm gonna say, hey, I'd like your help with a task. Don't take action yet. It'll say, okay, I'm ready to help you with the task. Let me know what you wanna do next. I'd like your help writing a YouTube video. So here's the homepage of the brand that I'm partnering with. Here's the copy they use to describe their product. Don't take action yet. Okay, great, sounds good. What else do you want to provide? Here are 2 recent examples, uploaded PDF, of scripts, my YouTube scripts that I've written recently, so you can get a style of my formatting and my brand voice. Don't take action yet. Okay, great, I see the examples. Is there anything else you want to provide? Yes, here's the brief that the brand provided in terms of what they're looking for this video specifically. Aim for 8 to 12 minutes. Okay, now take action. Write a first draft, write an outline, or write a draft of the video. That workflow is how I create my YouTube videos, coming up on 400 videos over the past few years. So that's my workflow built around one simple prompt. Don't take action yet. We use this prompt to simulate human conversation, which is the joy of AI in the first place. Okay. I went on for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, sorry. But in the process of me going on for that long, you now learned how I
Yeah.
make YouTube videos
That was
using
amazing.
AI.
And of course, if we all think of when we try to like sit down and write something, we get a block, right? But if you speak to someone about something, as you just did to your phone, it's so much easier. And most AI tools are great at kind of understanding that and cutting out the conversational aspects of it. So what do we do with that now?
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open, in this case, my ChatGPT account.
All right, we see it
Again,
there.
it can be. I'm using ChatGPT just because I have it open. This could be Claude. This could be Gemini. In Express, there are so many great built-in AI features, which we'll probably touch on. And we have touched on it
I'll be using
today.
Rewrite.
But I'm just wanting to show you using tools that a lot of people use. Literally, my Phil monologue. Okay. And so it gave an output that I probably won't even read yet. What should this be a carousel?
Yeah, I like it as a carousel, and we have your carousel template that you've made and have in your brand.
Oh yeah. So what I want you to see what I just did. I can't assume that ChatGPT knows what an Instagram carousel is.
Okay.
So I have a short code where I go /IG carousel, and I've pre-written what an Instagram carousel is. So I'll explain this in a moment.
Yeah, I didn't even know you
Using
could do
this
that.
information, help me create an Instagram carousel, which for me means up to 10. That could now be 15 slides, but not 20. Lucas says, don't make a carousel with
just because you can make a carousel that is 20 slides doesn't mean you should.
So, and then my carousels often start with reminder or tip.
Okay.
And then I put a strong hook tease. So I just tell chat what an Instagram carousel means for me. And you might be wondering, how did you type that so fast? I use a free plugin called Text Blaze, which you see it in my navigation. And if you look through here, these are all the snippets that I save. My social security number, email addresses, like anything there, IG carousel.
So you just memorize the shortcut,
Yeah,
and it will fill the rest.
exactly. I just write whatever I would write quickly. And so my avoid words, my the ones that I often post on Instagram,
Delve.
like I use this every single day. This prompt, and instead of me trying to remember these terms that I don't like, I just save them. So same with the Instagram carousel. Instead of me trying to memorize this prompt, I just save it using a Google Chrome plugin, a free one called Text Blaze.
Very cool.
Okay, we got a little nerdy there. Thanks for going on that journey with me. But check this out. So, slide 1. Tip. The number one AI prompt, and hardly anyone knows it. You click to the next slide.
That's
wouldn't
good.
you?
I would swipe on that.
This is so good, by the way. The reason it's good is because I work out of this account often.
You've trained it.
I've
Yes.
trained it. So I can actually say, I'm going to go back to Adobe Express and start from a template, my carousel template. I can actually say in my chat account, this doesn't sound like Phil Palin. Make it sound more like Phil Palin, and it knows what I mean because it's been observed. But I will like to say, and this came up in the conversation with Alan earlier, I don't do anything that's confidential
Right.
in ChatGPT.
Right.
I use tools like Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant, where it's not training the model on your information. I cannot emphasize that enough. You can pay for a more advanced plan in ChatGPT, but the minimum plan that doesn't train the model is 2 seats at $30 each. So it's $60 a month.
Yeah.
For the base plan that doesn't train the model on your information. So here I'm going to go to brands, and then I'm going to click on my own personal brand where I've got my fonts and stuff, and my handy dandy template for a carousel is right here. Okay, this is my old trusty. I have not been posting these. I've been a very bad boy on Instagram because I've been gallivanting in Japan. But I really need to get back at it.
You just showed how easy it is.
I know.
Look how easily you just
I have-
made that. Well, you're going to make, but you just wrote it, and now we're going to create it just as quickly.
I have literally no excuse. Thank you for reminding me. And hardly anyone knows it.
And last week, actually, or 2 weeks ago in our last episode, it was all about how to pull off a really strong performing collaboration post on social media, in particular on Instagram. And what we did was Phil shared this personal brand that he's loaded into Adobe Express. he shared the brand with me, which basically gave me the opportunity to use this template, use all of his fonts, his colors, all of his wonderful brand photos that I'm always super jealous of. I was able to take all of those and make a collaboration post between Phil and I without Phil actually being there, because Phil, again, was having a wonderful time on his trip in Japan.
It was. Thanks for doing that episode
Yeah,
solo.
that was awesome.
We both helped each other out in the last few
Yep.
months. You were speaking in San Diego, social media marketing world. So that's the short link
Yes,
to my book
yep.
that I've memorized. And then I would probably just duplicate this. Sometimes what I do in Express is I just add an empty page.
Same.
And then I'll just like make the background black. And then I'll just like copy over some text. And I sometimes will keep the template at the beginning or at the end. And then what am I doing? Hold on. What I basically, that's what I want to change right there. What I'll do is I'll write template in action. There we go. And this is just so I can visually distinguish between the post and the template. Sometimes I want to keep the template intact, just in case I want to go back and duplicate a part of it. Like the one I just deleted had a quote. It's like little things like that.
I shared that when Alan and I were working together, we used an Adobe Express built-in template.
Yeah.
And I shared a similar tip where I always like to duplicate that original starting point, because as you work on something, your end project might end up being completely different from the original template, and that's okay. But it's nice to be able to go back and see where you started from, or to copy and paste anything that you accidentally deleted or realized you do want to use. It's always good to be able to flip back and forth, and you have all the different pages to be able to do it very simply.
This is so funny. This literally sounds like me. Most people open ChatGPT and start with, write me a YouTube script. Give me 10 ideas. Summarize this. Too fast, too soon.
I'd keep swiping.
Oh my gosh, I'm entertaining myself. It literally sounds like me. But friends, did you see how like I didn't go, oh yeah, I'll like write that out and push that off. And it was like, take out your phone, just talk it through. It doesn't need to be perfect. These are the kind of like administrative tasks that we can lean on AI for quick, but also high quality content creation. I showed you how I might use a tool like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant. You can also benefit from some of these features that are directly built into Express.
Yes,
Earlier, we showed in Content Scheduler how you can use rewrite, which includes shorten, lengthen, rewrite. In this case here, we can also use it directly in project. So let's say I want to rephrase this. Yeah, let's try rephrasing this. This might not sound exactly like me.
What tone are you feeling? Personal?
I'm feeling personal, honey. Let's get personal. I'm going to click generate. Let's see what it comes up with. Here's the truth. That sounds like me.
That sounds like you.
Yeah, I'm going to click replace. And
Nice. And key to note here is that you did rephrase and it kept it almost exactly the same size, same length. Because you can do shorten, you can do lengthen. Rephrase should likely keep it around the same length, but obviously use different words, different tone as you selected. So I love how it works that well.
So you get the idea. I won't actually continue on because I still want to have time for some other content types to create. But friends, like the template is literally sitting here. It's a matter of just pasting in the text that I've created, making those small little edits. And then I can either download this or I can go ahead and share this directly to my social media content calendar in Express. I was so excited to see how excited Alan was earlier to see the like visualization of what could be a completed social media content calendar. This feels like a mountain for so many people. My gestures are getting big to the point where it's out of frame. Let me keep it controlled like that. This feels like a mountain for a lot of people. And so the easiest option is to just not start. And so I'm really, really excited to see his reaction to seeing how possible all of this is. Now, while I'm still in this document, if I was going to turn this idea into a reel.
Oh yeah, you want to try something.
I want to try something. So maybe what I would do, Lucas, is I might, let me take this. I'm going to duplicate this and then I'm going to resize it. We're going to go 1920 since we go vertical for
Short form video.
Yeah, short form video. My brain is like, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do actually I'm gonna leave that as tip.
I think I know what you're doing with this.
Yeah.
I can already see it. Yeah.
Right? I mean,
like
this is a new style for me, but I promised you that I would like try something new. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to media and we're gonna click video and then we're gonna click record yourself. The number one prompt I use with AI every day and hardly anyone knows it. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, okay. So now I'm going to not overthink this and I'm just gonna hit record. Friends, the prompt is don't take action yet. This simple prompt will help you simulate a conversation with AI that might be like a conversation you have with a friend, right? You don't front load all the information up front. You'll probably say a little bit of information in a conversation, a little bit of information, right? And do it in parts. So have that conversation and say, don't take action yet, because AI will be tempted to try and take action even before you're ready. So that's what you're gonna do. Okay, so not my best performance, but you know what?
No, and you're at around 30 seconds, which as I like to suggest, 30 seconds I think is that good sweet spot for a short form video. It's not too short, it's not too long. I love how you have, this is like a new type of content I haven't seen before.
I have never posted a piece of content
like
this.
this though.
I've seen people do like the green screen effect on TikTok, and I'm like maybe showing my age now, but I'm like, I don't even know how they do that. Now that I know how to do it in Express, watch out, I'm gonna be dangerous. So I think this is uploading right now. Yes, it is. Once it's finished uploading, we can click this remove background. How convenient that we are already strategically placed against a green screen. I think this is just gonna add like an extra little element of interest to this kind of content that I have never created before.
I like it because at first I've seen that type of content where it's like B-roll and then someone kind of puts like a Post-it note or like something that looks like an iPhone message like on screen, and that says the tip. But the B-roll is really just, you know, someone typing at a laptop. I like how you have the tip as a hook. Someone can read that, and then it still is you explaining it. And there's a lot of potential there to actually explain something. I have a lot of issues with the like read the caption content, you know, that
drives me
Don't get me started. But yeah, the whole like, here's the secret to blah, blah, blah. Read the caption. And that didn't need to be a reel. I get why people are doing it. But this is much more actually helpful to people because it's having the hook, but it's you're actually showing them with a video and telling them. So I like this style.
This might seem like it's taking a while. It takes a little bit of time because obviously if you're removing the background on a single image, that happens quickly. But in video is basically many images that make it up, and it's 30 seconds. So when you do this function, it might take a little bit of time. We can always return
I can pop
to this.
over and work on something while that happens.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay,
sounds
so
good.
I have our calendar here, if you look on my screen. And what we're dealing with here is I've actually went all in on the sticker book thing.
Clearly.
So I got a little check mark. I think that works. So we have now, I put it in that little corner there where it's no space, and we're just gonna keep copying and pasting it. We did your top secret hack that not many people know about. So there we go.
And like, I know that I can create content on that topic, but it's just so helpful to have a prompt.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to tell you that. You're like the social media calendar king.
So really, I created 3 posts off this one. You created a carousel, which can be posted on Instagram and can also be posted on LinkedIn. And then you turned it into a reel, which could be posted on Instagram, LinkedIn, and also TikTok or YouTube Shorts. So that's like, I think we're around 10 pieces of content, 8 to 10 already, which is awesome. I'm gonna take a quick look. I like how you said, yes, these might be prompts you already know, but it's nice to have a starting point. And I'm gonna go ahead with, there was one I liked that I'm gonna modify a little bit. Share the top 5 positive habits that all of your successful clients or customers have. And I'm gonna change it to, instead, I'm gonna make it a quick checklist or a routine list on, you know, instead of habits that are good, habits that don't actually work, myths that I'm sick of seeing on Instagram. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and find a single image, which I've made a quick template for. I also have a matching carousel template. So we talked about that a lot today. How to lock templates, how to make templates as starting points.
Yes.
Really good for scaling and recreating content. But since we've already worked with some carousels, I'm gonna use a similar kind of checklist, which is a great way to get a lot of saves and shares. I call these posts quick win content. So I'm gonna move my little name down there so nobody takes my content with a screenshot. And then let's see, top 5 Instagram myths. My goal here is it's quick and to the point. We like carousels. I love carousels, come on. You know that, you say that all the time. But sometimes it's nice to create a quick and short checklist that can be shared. Someone can repost it to their stories is what I'm hoping. And it's easy for me to make. So I'm gonna quickly put that in there. Top 5 Instagram myths.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is something you have learned recently from an Instagram post that you created and posted that performed well? What's like something you've learned from a post that has performed well recently?
I would say don't be afraid to ask people or remind them how you want them to interact with your content.
Ooh, that's
So
good.
it's not cheesy to say, share this post. People think that, they're afraid to ask. A myth that we'll put in here is people think putting words like share this post in your caption is gonna like shadow ban the post. That's not true, okay? Like Instagram's not scanning for words like share or even say like follow for more tips. That's okay. And when I'm on a video in particular, I like to end it with share this news with someone who will find it interesting and follow for more Instagram tips. I end a post with that, whether it's a carousel at the end of my final slide or just me saying it lately in my car, and I'm getting great results from just adding that in there.
Genius.
So I'll quickly make this. I know your video is ready.
No, let's, yeah.
But let's show how easy it is to make this type of content. I like this little chalkboard style I've been going.
Of course you do, you teacher, you.
Actually, what I'm gonna do first, before, again, just copying and pasting, I like to be efficient. So before I do that, I'm gonna put the text in there, and then I'm just gonna copy and paste the text.
Fun fact, did you know that you can copy and paste from Photoshop
Oh, I did not know that.
into Express directly?
That is.
You can. You could like highlight an image, something in Photoshop, and actually just literally Command C and then Command V if you're on a Mac into Express.
And that's what we like about Express. It fits perfectly into so many different workflows.
It does.
So we got, let's see, using words like share and follow is okay. Oops. So again, just not overthinking it. When I'm trying to think of, like Phil just asked me that question, what is a tip you recently learned? I was able to answer that pretty quickly just by looking at the conversations I'm usually having with people, my friends, my colleagues, people in my audience, and I'm just turning it into a piece of content. Because if it's something that was valuable for a conversation between Phil and I, it's probably gonna be valuable for my audience.
Yeah.
So let's just recreate this. I said I promised 5, so let's just make it 5. There we go.
While you're doing that, Samantha said, do they have a master class for AI? Samantha, I would recommend checking out the Adobe Live YouTube channel. We've talked a lot about AI on this wonderful YouTube channel, lots of live streamed, also pre-recorded, posted content. Definitely check out some of the past streams for some of those. Robert says, I think Copilot is better than ChatGPT. Yeah, Robert, they all have their merits. I tend to open ChatGPT first, simply based on the fact that I've used it the most. But also, like, for example, when I need something cited, I use Gemini, built by Google. So it's just kind of more naturally provides a citation for something. Also, if I need a citation on something I'm providing in a document up to 600 pages, I use Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant for that. What else? Claude is really good for creative tasks. I find it better for copywriting than chat. So Copilot, I'm not really a big Microsoft guy. So I've used it a few times, but it's not one that I kind of keep coming back to. They all kind of have their merits.
Yeah.
There's also tools like Magi that let you try multiple tools at once. All kinds of tools out there. I'm a nerd for this stuff.
And in the time you were explaining that, our post is done. Look
Woohoo.
at that. So we have top 5 Instagram myths. Again, it's something that just came from my audience, something that I usually share and have regular conversations about. Just like Phil's conversational nature of just speaking to his phone and generating a expert carousel. I
Yeah.
gotta try that. I've done the same just from our conversations. So someone will see this top 5 Instagram myths. Using words like share and follow is okay. Scheduling your content doesn't affect reach. I want people to know that. There's like a myth that
Yeah.
you schedule your content, it hurts your reach. It doesn't. The reason why you might see lower reach if you schedule is because you're doing something called posting and ghosting.
Yes.
You're scheduling your content and then thinking, well, I don't need to be on my phone all week. You still want to nurture your audience and build community, and that comes down to you being there. Hashtags still do work, just differently. You don't have to post every day. It's okay. I like 3 to 4 times a week right now. And I put this one here because I want to talk about a question Val asked earlier. I said it's okay to repost your content. People might think they can't repost their content. And Val asked, how often
Yes.
do I recommend reposting content? I usually like every 3 months. 3 months, and this is specific to the same post. So this exact, a carousel or this exact single image, I might repost it 3 months later if it did well. Maybe if you want to do 4 months, that's okay too. But something you can do as well, I'm calling it the triple threat rule that I need to make a post on about soon, is I might take this topic of top 5 Instagram myths. I'll post this one, this single image you're seeing. I'll make it into a carousel where I break it down into detail on each slide, each myth. And then I'll make a reel, me sitting in my car, talking about these myths. And that's 3 different posts all on the same topic. And I can post them much closer together.
How close?
I might even, I call it the triple threat because I might even post them all in 1 week and just
Wow.
really hit my audience with, this is Instagram Myth Week. And it will really build on that and really enforce that message. I like to create secondary, like supplementary resources like worksheets, and I might use like Instagram DM automation to deliver that worksheet, right, to someone based on the topic. But that's my way of thinking right now. I load my content into weekly chunks, and I try to have a lot of that content support the other days of posting.
That is so cool. What do you call it? Triple
The
threat?
triple threat.
It's so smart. So yeah, don't get too hung up on like, oh my gosh, only once every 3 months. You can still take that content and kind of have it repositioned or reborn.
Yep.
And post it much closer.
Yeah. And there we go. We have another post. So that is a single image I might post on my Instagram. I could repost this on LinkedIn. I might put this as a graphic in my email newsletter and blast it out that way. So a lot of different ways. That's another post.
Do you ever run out of content ideas?
No, I don't, because with oh, that's the wrong one. With our social media, with this calendar, I'm serious. You can, with just these ideas, you can probably endlessly, it's called endless content creation, but I really believe you can endlessly think of ideas. Like we said, you might not do exactly what it says, but you can do something like I had here, take a ask me anything or frequently asked questions. That's dependent on what your audience is asking.
Yeah.
So that is endless in itself. There's, I think just with the 30 we have here, you can be covered. You can probably even pick 10 and you can be covered with an endless, repeatable content strategy.
One idea that you might also do, I think some of your best content ideas will come from conversations with clients, comments or DMs from people in your audience. What you also might do is duplicate this page or add another page into this template, which by the way, we've made a remixable template for you. You might add a second page where you keep all of the really valuable questions that your audience asks you. Comments, emails. I will sometimes, like I always have sticky notes around me at all times because it could be a conversation with a client and I write down a single word. Leadership, right? Write down a single word. IG, evergreen content. That word then jogs my memory later that day when I have a second to like quickly jot down that question or idea. Lucas can tell you from how many Instagram posts have you made?
Oh, I'd have to check, but I think I'm pushing like 800.
Oh,
Maybe
it's
over
definitely
1,000.
more than
Maybe over 1,000. Let me.
No. I'm checking because I think it's way more than that. I'm going to fact check you
so
now.
1,502
There
posts.
we go.
Sorry.
Don't
1,000.
undersell yourself, my friend.
And I've archived and I've deleted some things as well. So it probably is
I
closer to...
knew it was way more than that. And I have made 400, or close to 400 YouTube videos. My best performing content comes from me answering a question that someone has asked me.
Yeah.
Comments on a YouTube video, replies on an email blast, comments or DMs on Instagram, DMs on LinkedIn, or sometimes comments. Keep these questions possibly in this template that we've given you today, and come back here when you feel drained or low on energy or content ideas.
And like Phil said, you can make a copy of it for yourself. So what I did, because this is, if you use the link, this is your document, right? It becomes your file. Phil and I can't see, you make a new copy. So Phil and I can't see what you're adding to it. We have our own copy as well. That's why this one says copy at the top. This is mine. So me adding these stickers, it's not affecting the remixable template. But again, make a duplicate, which I already did, but duplicate the page. I did this one and I took off the stickers. And all of a sudden, you can directly write the examples here. So like we said here, what was the one we were looking for? Frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna use that one, I can just start typing the frequently asked questions, right? Do hashtags matter? Use it as like a note-taking device.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do.
We've even given you empty like sticky note spots down at the bottom where you can duplicate a text layer, add it there. As we kind of round off our discussion today, I have another question for you. This could probably be a good content idea. But like, what's one thing you're excited about in terms of social media in the next like few months, let's say, or something you're excited about right now?
I would definitely say the potential to continue collaborating. I think collaboration, whether it is through Instagram Live or a direct collaboration post, is definitely the way to go if you are finding your audience just isn't growing and you want more attention on your content. We did our last episode all about collaboration. So go through on Adobe Live and check you'll definitely recognize our nice thumbnails. Look for our episodes because we really have built it out like a social media, especially Instagram course.
Yeah.
And our last episode before this was about how to pull off a collab.
Yeah.
You're getting shown to more audiences than just your own. That's a great way to grow from there.
Yeah, and it's fun. The process of creating with someone else is not so insular. It's not, it's not something you do by yourself.
Right.
It's something that you do together. And it, I don't know. I think it's just, it's kind of like the difference of having a conversation with yourself in a room or having a conversation with someone that's a friend or in a podcast.
Right.
And this is really just a like productive way to bring those kind of forces together. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground, not just in this hour, but today in person, streaming our show, Social Media Makeover. It's been really fun. I mean, we'll continue to create new episodes. This is episode 8. I can't even believe it. And yet, wow, we've covered so much ground.
Really?
We still have so many more ideas to bring you, content that's going to help you give your social media makeover in Adobe Express using the amazing features and tools. Many of these are brand new, announced at Adobe Max London live last week. Check out some of our past episodes if you have time. Some that you've missed, they're archived on YouTube for you to stop and learn. And every episode has a remixable template for you to get started. So friends, that is a wrap. What a fun day in studio. I want to say a huge thank you to Alan Friedman, who joined us earlier today. I want to say thank you to you for flying all the way from Canada.
Thank you. It's nice to be here in person, like we said.
It is. It's always fun to co-create, and also a huge thank you to you for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate you, your support, your engagement here on Adobe Live, and have a great rest of your day, and we will see you soon. See you later.